What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Saints Knight 283 here, welcoming you guys back to the channel, back here with F1 2017, currently at part 20, and we're actually moving on now to the British Grand Prix at Silverstone, actually, for our 10th race of the F1 season. And as it stands, we are actually currently in first place. 2 points just separate us from Ferrari with Sebastian Vettel. So the season is not over yet. There's still quite a lot of work for us to do if we want to actually win the World Championship, which of course is the goal. But we're at Silverstone, a track that we actually know quite a lot because, as I said, it is the home of the British Grand Prix, and since I am a Brit, I feel like I should theoretically know this in the back of my hand. But anyways, enough dawdling, enough little chit chat. Ladies and gentlemen, if you do like to keep seeing F1 2017, alright, thank you for the report. And as I was gonna say before he so rudely interrupted me, if you guys would like to see more of F1 2017 career mode in the future, don't forget to smash the thumbs up button. Okay, so we've actually got 752 resource points before we actually do anything. Let's see if anything needs done. Yeah, our gearbox wear. That's a biggin. Just our general wear and tear on the car is actually what's really needed, you know, repair-wise. And you know what, speaking of repairs, let's check our parts. Let's see. Okay, so our internal combustion engines. Oh, right. Okay, so I'm gonna repair the internal combustion engine, obviously. Do I want to repair the... No. I know that this is my home track and everything, and I want to be on edge all the time, but if I put in a new gearbox, I'll get a lot of grip penalties.
Welcome to Silverstone, home of Formula One racing in Great Britain.
Alright, so before we go in, let's take a look at the weather for today's race. Oh, of course, it being Britain, the race is in the wet. Brilliant, and I picked a dry tune. Alright, so, you know what, before we actually stick any tune on, let's... Alright, thank you, Jeff. Before we stick any tune on, let's get a feel of the track, feel of the car itself on the track, and to do that, we need to go and do our track acclimatization to get the general better feel of the car. Alright, so I hope that this is one track acclimatization that I can actually nail on my first turn, because if not, well, it's gonna be race here if we're not even gonna get that good in the practice programs. But so far though, things are looking very good for us. Things are really looking good for us. First 5 corners in DRS zone, chained up very nicely. If I can keep this up, who knows how well I do in terms of the practice session, and not to mention, more importantly, the qualifying. In terms of the race, as long as I stay in a high enough place above Sebastian Vettel, who I think may actually be our current enemy of the season, because, well, he's only 2 points behind us, as I've said earlier. Then, as long as we stay above him, then we should be fine in regards to the World Championship. However, that being said, his car is faster than ours, it's better built, and it has more reliability. See, he even goes and sets a hell of a time for fastest around the track. Alright, I'm only like I'm a second slower than him, which unfortunately for us isn't really a good thing, but then again, it could be a hell of a lot worse. You know what I mean? So let's actually go in and do some tire management. We'll go into Soft's flying lap. Let's try and build up our resource points and, you know, try and build up durability and reliability, because we've got plenty for the engine. Although you could argue that we've done quite a lot for the engine. Well, you could argue we need to do more on the engine. However, I feel like since this is McLaren, and McLarens do have a tendency to, their parts do tend to wear a bit more frequently than the Red Bulls or the Ferraris, or hell, even some of the Williams, and hell, even Saubers, for Christ's sake. And Sauber's supposed to be the bottom, and Sauber's supposed to be the bottom rung, that lower tier type of vehicle, whereas McLarens have always been and always should be top tier. Which is why one of the main general focuses for us in this season should be reliability. Partly because it's important in the grand scheme of things, more so than power, and partly because it's cheaper for us as well, because engine parts and any part relating to the engine is going to cost us an arm and a leg for us to actually buy. Hell, even the next engine head that we actually need to buy is about 1,000 resource points. That may not sound like too much, but given how much we get during like practice sessions and all that sort of stuff, that is gonna be quite a lot. And I gotta say, we're not really in the competitive sort of edge as it turns out already. But I feel like if we have a better built car, then we can go out for longer, and it would minimize our chances of actually going out of a race. Going out of a race due to engine exploding or just a part malfunctioning or something like that. Hell, I mean, even the gearbox we're even having to leave because of this. We're having to leave the gearbox as it is because of problems with reliability and grid penalties and all that. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, so now we are in a now we're entering qualifying pace. I figure it's time to actually get ourselves a setup. Thank you. And let's actually just go in to qualifying pace to see what sort of lap we could potentially be running for the main quick qualifying. My hope is that it is a good one. That being said, with the gearbox, how is my gearbox actually? Yeah, with the wear at 55%, I'm not holding up that much hopes. However, it could be However, yes, I am using a dry weather tune, but in theory I could get a wet weather tune and stick with it. But what's the point when your practice session and qualifying is going to be in the dry? However, due to qualifying being in the dry, and you can't really change the tune after your qualifying session, whatever tune you have there is the one that you have to stick with. That is probably not going to be, it's not going to be a great idea to actually stick a dry weather tune on qualifying, because if we're stuck with a dry weather tune in the wets with wet tires or intermediates, then we'll be stumped. Honestly, we will have a little bit of more trouble gaining traction, gaining stability of the car itself. I actually want to finish the race rather than actually destroying myself. Alright, so let's see. Yep, very nice. Ooh, Raikkonen right behind me. I think he's yep, he's trying to get a gentle toe off me. Who would have thought that the faster people would need a toe off me? Ooh, third place, not bad. I reckon Vettel's probably still in top, because that Ferrari, man, is killer. It's excellent. Alright, so now for the last one. Alright, let's go to the last practice program, race strategy. Simple enough. Do 3 laps. Do 3 or 5 fast laps in quick session. Be consistent. Then we should be fine. Uh-oh. I think, yep, our CE is at 50%, 51% wear, and our gearbox is not looking good for us in the gearbox front, guys. Oh well. Now I definitely know not to stick this car in rich revs during the race, which is going to be something I gotta avoid, because also in rich revs, if you're in the wet and rich revs, chances are A, you're gonna burn off your tires a hell of a lot more because you're struggling to find traction, and B, you're not really going to go fast because, again, you lose traction. You're not going to be able to carry that much speed throughout the corners, which is why it'd be best, if you want to go higher, if you want to get faster, that is, then go for, at most, standard revs, which is what I'm in now. Because not only do you get traction, but you also actually look after your engine's car parts. You look after the wear and tear of the car itself, because if you stick it on rich, it uses up more of the car, whereas standard just uses the normal amount, hence standard. And you know what, I gotta be honest, leave a comment down below if you actually fell asleep through one of my stories, because I know I can drone on a bit, but here's the thing. When it comes to something that you have a passion for, let it be something as simple as video games or racing in general, or if it's even something like football or anything like that, if you have a passion and you love talking about it, then great. Besides, that's what YouTube's for. It's for people who who have a passion, and they want others to potentially earn that passion as well. See why you like certain things, and maybe, just maybe, try and encourage other people to try new things, you know? See, second lap, and coming out of this corner, we're a second faster than our target lap, which is actually quite good. This should probably bring us 20 points I hope. Yeah, that should bring us 20 points. The next lap, another 20 points. Should be us complete with the race strategy. Now, unfortunately, we're not going to get 2 seconds out of that corner, which is what we usually get. But at the end of the day, there we go. Now we get 2 seconds. That's the key thing about. That's because the key thing about race strategy is consistency, not how fast can you go in a given minute. And that's what qualifying pace is for. Lucky this is Silverstone. Actually, lucky this is Silverstone. Alright, one more. Yep, 20 points. One more lap. One more lap. If it gets 20 points, then we are out of here. That was actually really quite fast going into that corner. The slightest bit of steering. Steer too far, steer too much, you get understeer, which basically kills anything that you're going for. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you for reminding me. Alright, so we've got about 5 minutes of first practice session. So we have to. So as soon as we bang this in, we'll call it a day, and we'll probably go to qualifying, which was the intended plan to do. Oh shit! Didn't activate my DRS at exactly the right time. However, it still is. At least I still got it activated. Ooh, a little bit on the edge there. Just clip the curb. Just run the curb on this thing. Just make sure not to go on the grass. That's good. That's good. Straight. There you go. Alright. Very nice. Now, let's return back to the garage. And move on to... Let's end this practice. Let's just end practice full stop. Let's advance to qualifying. Let's see, how do we do? Ooh, 5th place. We actually finished faster than the Red Bulls. Not too far off the Red Bulls, but it's still ahead. It's still ahead of the Red Bulls either way. So, at least that's good. At least we got an idea of where we're heading. As long as I can stay this consistent during the race, then we've got no problem. Alright, let's see. Ooh, nearly at 500 resource points, not bad. Alright, what do they want me to qualify?
Hi, it's Emma. Your qualifying goals came up in the board meeting this morning. Here's what to expect.
Alright, singles is before, qualifying 15 for hire, and beat Romain Grosjean. Pretty basic generic stuff. Alright, so let's go back into reliability. Is there anything that we actually need to do? Alright, as soon as we get this race done, actually, as soon as next week comes in, as soon as Friday comes around, this next video comes around, we're probably gonna have to, again, if it turns out successful, bring in parts for reliability, because that's the key thing in all of this.
Afternoon here at Silverstone, and that means it's time for today's qualifying. Enjoy the action.
Alright, so let's get a setup. Let's get a wet weather setup, and thankfully I have just what's needed. Alright, so if you guys actually want to copy this at home at all, then be sure to stop the video at certain points and be able to write it down and all that. So let's see. Whoa, that's quite a lot. Low. Let's see. Now suspension. yeah, you can tell already that this is drastically different from the previous tune. Alright, that's plenty. Thank you, Jeff. Alright, let's see. Let's try and set a decent lap time with this. Let's go out there. Let's set a good lap time. Let's get out there, let's set a good lap time, and let's see how fast we can actually achieve with this thing. I'm probably gonna do a first lap. I'm gonna do one lap, and then depending on how we do on that lap, we may or may not warrant a second lap. Alright, Valtteri Bottas sets the fastest lap. Not too sure what time he did there, but I'll be able to check as soon as we enter the pits. Now, again, finish at a high enough pace, or at a good enough pace, we should be fine. Again, this tune is more... Yeah, you can tell already that this tune that I've got is drastically different to my previous tune that we had during qualifying pace and everything. Alright, so let's drive as if we're, you know, actually going like to race. Because that way we may actually get a feel of the car and everything. Look at this, dropping already down to 10th place. The only thing is, I wish the qualifying as well as the race was in wet, so that it would give me more of a familiarity with the whole thing. Alright, I may have to go around it again one more time. I'm gonna go around again because I feel like we can do a hell of a lot better. Because I feel like we could do a hell of a lot better, I feel like we could go around for another trial or another attempt. Alright, just breathe. And eventually it should be all good from here. Well, I'm hoping. Alright, I'm slow, come on. Only got two laps of fuel. Luckily I only need the one. Luckily I'm only doing the one lap. It's probably better, I could have said. Alright, I'm not going to concentrate on my delta, because the delta is going to be would put me off quite a lot if I were to look at it, which I'm not. I'm not going to be looking at the delta time. Oh, come on. Alright, let's see how we do. And... nope, still slower. I'm going to return to the garage. Alright, we're going to return to the garage, see how we did. And there's no way in hell we're going to go out there, so let's accelerate through time here.
So qualifying is complete and we're all
5th place. 5th place. That's not bad. That's good. That's good. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. Considering it was a wet tune on a dry track, that's actually better than I was expecting. So far, we're in the good books. We're definitely in the good books, alright? Alright, so thankfully, as well as that, that means we can actually afford another reliability upgrade for our gearbox. Alright, so we've got 583 overall, and what's more, we're leading our rivalry, which is very good. Look at this. Renault, Toro Rosso, Haas, and Sauber all love us. They love us.
I just wanted to pass on the team's expectations for this race. Good luck.
Alright, so they want me to finish 12th and beat Grosjean. Hell, I can get you... I was gonna say I could get you first, but... I hope to get you first. Alright, next race. Fit the gearbox. I know I should be fitting the gearbox now, but I'm 5th. And I don't know how many positions it's gonna put me down at the start, because there's grid penalties, so I don't want to take that chance until the next race. And yes!
The pain of parting is nothing to the joy of meeting again. And how joyous indeed it is to be back at Silverstone once more for the British Grand Prix.
For once,
To get in this morning, extending
we're,
miles back to
thankfully,
43,
we
such
have a
as the
wet weather tune.
Formula One in this country. Well then, after an exciting qualifying session yesterday, let's take a look at how the cars line up. Lewis
Alright, so let's see where we are in terms of fuel. Do they keep overloading my fuel? God damn it, they're overloading my fuel. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the fuel so that we can actually get a quicker, more immediate start off the throttle on the line. Alright, so let's see if I underload the fuel or if I put in exactly the right amount, how we go from there. Which revs? Here we go. Oh, that's a good start. Good start for us. Oh, going a bit wide. Did not need to do that. Alright, I've caught up. Actually, I am right with the AMGs, although they're probably going to be going a hell of a lot faster. Vettel is right behind me. A lot of the parts aren't really looking that good. That launch tactic might not have been the best, but it was a necessary risk. Alright, come on. As long as I can stay behind Bottas enough to actually get a little bit of a slipstream on him, or if I try and follow his line exactly, then that means we can just go through life pretty much easily, since there's not that much wet weather to be had. Chuck it up to standard revs. Let's try and close the gap between ourselves and Mr. Bottas in front of us. And Hamilton's just basically gonna walk away with it, it would appear. Oh, let's see. In the corners, I feel like, actually, when it comes to this track, I feel like I can break into corners later than everyone, and I may be a little bit faster in the corners, but in the straights and the exiting, actually, and when you get out, and when they get out of a corner, That's where it all comes a bit downhill for us. I mean, look at this. We're right on Bottas, and he starts to walk. He starts to run off. But as long as I stay on his path, though, we should be fine. Oh, that was a bit wide. That was really... Oh, got a catastrophic understeer from the car here. That's not what we wanted at all. Luckily the rain's not that bad. We're only on intermediates. If it was full wet, God only knows how many accidents would have actually occurred during the race itself. Alright, let's see. I'm closing. I'm slowly. Now let's see. I'm slowly losing time on them. Great. They're slowly starting to pick up the pace. Oh, Bottas may have slightly went into the back of him. Yes, fastest lap in the McLaren, in the wets. 148.5. Very, very nice. Come on. Shit. Yup, even the gearbox is starting to suffer. Even right now, we're suffering from gearbox problems. That's not good on our part. Come on, come on, come on. Let's see if I can try and undercut. Oh, look at this. Got a clean overtake on Bottas. Oh, slightly clean. Alright, we're in second place. Lewis Hamilton in front of us. We've got 10 laps to go of the British Grand Prix. Let's see if we can close the door slightly on him. If not, then second, I guess, is the best we can aim for. Or at least ahead of Mr. Vettel. Mr. Sebastian. But the good news for Britain, at least, is right now they've got a British 1-2.
I think the track will be drying out quite soon. Mind you don't burn out your tyres.
Alright, the track, according to this, the track is going to dry out quite soon. So, that could be some good news for us on that front. Which means we could potentially start to close the gap on Mr. Lewis Hamilton. But, again, fastest. No, I don't want to. The good news is that we are gaining. The bad news is that there's no bad news for Mr. Hamilton. His car's not slowing down. He's not out of a race. Well, out of this race yet. He hasn't had a crash. God damn it! I actually want to. If I just hunker down, then eventually we could. We are gaining by 1/10 of a tenth of a second by each lap. So theoretically, we should be able to catch Mr. Lewis in his Mercedes, and we're actually making not that bad of a gap between us and Valtteri as well, Lewis's teammate. I'm not going into the pits. Wait a minute. Oh, we have caught up right on Hamilton, and he's gone again. Why does this keep happening to me? Once again, fastest lap time. We're on a roll. We must be on a roll. Go, 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 go. Thankfully, I think the car's actually getting used to this weather and this tune. And so am I, actually. Alright, I'm right behind him. I could try... I'm actually gaining some distance from Mr. Valtteri, which is quite good. Alright, let's see if we can actually try... Oh, that's a bit much, that's a bit much. No, no. Damn it, I thought I could take Hamilton there, but the risk was too great and it was not that good of an open distance, you know? Maybe next lap, or maybe at the end of this lap, I could try something. It's doubtful that I can, but when in Rome... Alright, chuck it up to standard revs. Let's burn off some of the fuel. Let's try and use up most of the fuel and most of the car's hidden energy to try and get ourselves the win at our home circuit, or the closest thing to a home circuit for me. Oh, he's slowly catching with my fastest lap. But he is gaining quite a bit, and my lines are starting to get a hell of a lot more sloppy. So, I'm thinking that if I don't hunker down and start to perfect my lines, then we may be looking at most a second place win. See, look at this. Whenever I'm in standard, the car likes to understeer into corners a hell of a lot more frequently, and that's really annoying, because this car doesn't... I don't want the car to understeer. It causes me to lose too much speed going into these corners. There we go. Here we are. This is getting good. We're getting better. We're starting to see the dry bit. We're starting to see the dry, which is fantastic. At least I'm getting the familiarity of the dry line, which is good. Which is what we need in order for us to gain our momentum and catch up with Hamilton, who is actually right there. Thought I could try and clip the corner and overtake him, but ultimately couldn't, which is a bit of a shame. But the race ain't over yet, so we can still have him by any means necessary. Well, not by any means. I'm not going to crash into him. It's not come down to... Oh, maybe... Oh, yes. Yes, look at this. We got a clean overtake on Hamilton, which means, ladies and gentlemen, we are finishing first. We are at first place at home here at Silverstone. So let's see if we can actually bring it home, or if it's going to be a one-trick pony sort of show. And I'm noticing as well, the Ferraris are actually nowhere to be found. I'm guessing the Ferraris are 4th and 5th. But seriously, I've got Hamilton behind me and Bottas behind him. Although, albeit with quite a bit of a gap between us. All we gotta do right now is hunker down and just not worry. Don't let Hamilton just worry. Don't worry about Hamilton. We just concentrate on focusing on perfecting the driving line and maybe trying to get a faster lap. Although somehow I've got the feeling that Hamilton's actually gonna try and do what I did to him on me. But no, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Look at that. Fastest lap, 2:48, actually 1:48.2. A very solid time for us in the McLaren MCL 32. Oh, that is a lot of understeer. Must have gotten through some wet patches. Alright, I think either the rain is completely gone and we're slowly starting to dry up, or probably more likely that the rain has reduced, but it's still like getting like wee tiny little spits of rain every now and then. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Alright, let's see. Alright, what's the gap between us? Alright. Alright, driver behind. Alright, so we're near coming to nearly the end way mark because we're at lap 8. We've got plenty of fuel, which I will admit, it was risky. It was incredibly risky to do that to start off the way we started. However, I do believe that was actually a little bit necessary. That was really necessary, because if not, who knows where I would have ended up, or who knows when I would have ended up in first place. So let's alright, we've got 4 laps left. So let's hunker down, settle in, and just relax. I say relax. If I wanted to really relax, I should not have looked at the engine management bay, because our MGU-K, our ICE, and MGU-H are all fine. The TC, the gearbox, the traction control, the gearbox, the computer electronics, and the electrical systems are all, yeah, they are starting to show their wear. So what I'm gonna have to do is probably look after this car extremely. Doing that doesn't help. Understeering this car a lot does not help. That and the fact that I'm at 30% in the front, 30% rear, actually 30% wear on the front left, 26 on the front right, 25 on the rear left, and 23 on the rear right. Having those, that's not a very promising look. Oh, Hamilton's actually just sticking with us. He's not going away anytime soon, and that is something I do not like. One of these days, one of these times, he is gonna try. He's gonna go for the opportunity to overtake us, and when he does, I'll probably just try and block him, because, buddy, you may be a Briton, but I'm having this honor. You may be a plucky Brit, but I'm the only plucky Brit that deserves to win the British Grand Prix since I've never won one before. Alright, chuck it down the lean. Let's try and take care of the engine and, well, the car itself, and just have a smooth ride. Not one filled with understeer car. but just one of just trying to make sure that we steer at the right time, brake it, have enough brake pressure, steering amount, and everything. Just relax. I'm only at first. What could possibly go wrong? Just make this a smooth ride. Okay, so I can't go into lean. Oh. Alright, so we can't go into rich revs because the car is gonna be actually the ES is gonna be totally fucked. And also we can't go into rich revs because that's gonna wear out pretty much every single other part. So the only mix, Sergio Perez out of the race. Buddy's car, Buddy, your car must have exploded. Yep, both the Ferraris just behind Valtteri, just behind Valtteri Bottas. Perez still on the track. Buddy, you really need to get the hell off the track, because God knows, if you don't, you're gonna die out there, buddy. Alright, let's see. Hamilton is... Whoa, there's Perez lying on the side of the road. He's stationary on the side of the road. Somebody else. Whoa, Carlos Sainz out of the race. You know what? I'm curious. What the hell happened? Let's see if we can find Mr. Carlos Sainz. Yep, his engine must have blown. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yep, his engine must have really blown. So we've got two people in the span of not even 2 minutes. So this race just got a hell of a lot more interesting. Speaking of interesting, Hamilton has just caught up with us, rightly so, with as we're about to enter the third last lap. Things can get really heated here. Let's hope for a clean end to the race. Let's try and not do as much ducking and weaving, although we probably are gonna have to do a bit of that. Nope, Hamilton, get out of my way. Yes, very nice. Look at that. Look at that. All right, so let's see. I believe we're coming up to Mr. Toro Rosso. Sainz, sorry buddy. Tough luck. Today wasn't your race. Oh crap. Hamilton is right there. He's less than he is he's 0.2 seconds off us. Okay, Saints 9, relax. Don't panic. Everything's gonna be fine. Oh. Okay, I'm taking a look. I've just took a look at my fuel. It's on the cusp of being low, and we're about to be on the last lap in a couple of corners. So, this is gonna be interesting. Am I gonna make it all the way to the end? Because with my car braking left and right, with Hamilton just up my rear, I got a feeling that a Brit is going to win the British Grand Prix. The question is, which one? It's gonna be a one. Is it gonna be a 1-2, or is it just gonna be a 1? Let's hope to God that our car doesn't malfunction, or judging by the look at the fuel mix, judging by the look of the fuel, let's hope that we don't run out of fuel. Oh crap. Yep, Hamilton used that as an opportunity for us to, actually for him to gain on us. Okay, oh crap. The fuel warning, okay, my fuel warning light is on. This is troubling. It says I have less than a half a lap of extra fuel. Oh my god, this is turning into one of the most stressful endings to a race I have ever been a part of, because I've got I've got 4 drivers barreling down the back of me. Any crack, like any exposure of weakness, then I get done. Oh, Hamilton is right there. He's trying to make a move. He's trying to make a move. Nope. Shut the door on him, and nicely so. Must have lost my edge or something to actually allow him to stay where he got. Let's hope that doesn't happen again, because if it does, I don't want to talk about it. Alright, so we've got... Alright, so we're near the end. So we've got Hamilton, we've got Bottas, we've got Vettel, we've got Raikkonen. All of them right behind us. Wait, what? But hold on. Hamilton? Care to explain what happened, Hamilton? What the hell happened there? But anyway, doesn't matter. First place at home.
Great today.
We got a race win here at home. The British Grand Prix. What a fantastic race. Probably one of the most stressful races of the F1 calendar for us.
McLaren have pulled it off. They've won in spectacular fashion here today. Anthony, what do you think made the difference here?
Oh, I'd say it's just raw pace, plain and simple. I mean, we could sit here and talk about strategy all day, the overtake.
Our drivers are making their
And
way
look
out
at
for
this.
podium
Woohoo!
celebrations. And it's going to be McLaren picking up the winners. And now let's take a look at the driver's standings.
Alright, so we started off in 5th, got up to 1st, which was very good.
Rats emoji grinning face.
Moving on to the
Hey,
driver
thank you very,
Anthony Davidson.
thanks very much for the photo congratulations there.
McLaren driver. Look at where they finished compared to where they started.
Yes, we also got driver of the day. Not bad.
Great effort.
And now let's take a look at the constructors' standings. The lead at the top comes down after a strong weekend from the challenging pack. Meanwhile, Renault
Oh, and also we are...
strong performance this week.
Yes.
That's it for today's
Yes, I'm loving this. I'm loving this. We are actually 15 points off of... Actually, ahead of Sebastian Vettel, the race champion. Anyone gained any... No? Unfortunately, our teammate isn't really doing that good. As for McLaren ourselves, still the same in constructor standings. Not much has changed. Not much has changed in regards to that. Whew, that was the British Grand Prix. That was probably an interesting race. I will say that was probably one of the more interesting and stress-inducing races so far. Alright, look at this. Our resource points are right there. And look at this. Rivalry update. Well done. We've done it. But wait, what? Look at this. Every single team's loving me. And career points. Very nice. Wait, what? What's this?
How are you? Are you happy? I mean, obviously, I hope so. You do have some other options.
Wait, what? What are you talking about?
I had a call from our team a few weeks ago. It's moved on since then. These are the offers I managed to put together for you. You don't have to do anything.
Wait, what? So we can... Whoa, let me get this straight. So we can choose to go into another. Oh my god. Okay. Okay, so we've got a difficult choice on our hands. We could stay in McLaren. We could stay in McLaren as the first driver and get an enhanced contract, meaning more resource points, more of everything. Or we could move to a better team, but we don't get our resource points and everything. You know what? As much as the end goal for all this, honestly, for me, was to end up in Ferrari. I could go to Ferrari now. However, I'm not done with McLaren. So as tempting as actually, I don't want to join AMG because AMG I don't really like as a team, and I don't really want Lewis Hamilton to be my teammate, and that's kind of a bummer. Well, that's kind of a bummer about that because I'll have to replace Bottas and everything. Red Bull is an interesting one, but I feel like they've lost their edge. Ferrari's where it's at, but I don't want to go there now. So what I'm going to do is stay as first driver for them. Whew, okay, so with that difficult choice done, I'm afraid it's now time to end today's live stream. I hope you guys do enjoy that. If you did, then please smash the thumbs up button. Subscribe if you are new to the channel, and if you're not new, then don't forget to turn on your post notifications. It's simple to do. All you gotta do is click the bell icon next to the subscribe button, tick the box that says enable all notifications, press save, and boom, you are instantly notified whenever we post up a new video or whenever we go live in one of our bi-daily live streams. And apart from that, guys, we'll see you in the next video. So till then, guys, as always, peace.